Hi and welcome back to Mismatch, Chapter 6, The Things That Really Matter. Your mouth hangs open as you absorb what Veronica says. Richard and I are getting a divorce. Your final challenge for the company is matching me. And this is a great way to pick up our Mr. Weeks. I'm glad to be back and I hope you're all doing well. I'm so sorry, Veronica. I had no idea you two were struggling. I know, dear. I wanted it that way. I didn't feel like I could admit my relationship was failing while I was running a company about love. This challenge is vital. If you can find me a loving man to retire with, you'll have passed the ultimate test and earned my company. Veronica, I'll help you find the love you deserve. Aren't you moving a little fast? Soon you'll be in a good man's arms and your ex will be the last thing you think about. Oh, I've no doubt. The question is, who will bring him to me? Veronica glances at her watch. I'm afraid that's all the time I have now. I have shareholders to meet with, clients to consult, divorce proceedings, the works. You weren't kidding about this being the toughest challenge yet. Aren't you going to give us anything to work with? Don't worry, I haven't abandoned you. There are detailed dossiers waiting for you on both your desks. I'll expect results within the week. Oh, one more thing. You are to work this case in secret. Nobody can know I'm getting a divorce, let alone that I'm looking for love. Two's Co's reputation was built on my marriage to Richard. One whiff of this and paparazzi will eat us alive. Veronica nods and swiftly excuses herself. You share a look with Aphrodite. Talk about the blind side. And that's not the only one we got this morning. Yeah, Keith and Casey. You glance at the door, then lower your voice. I don't know how they got caught, but the no dating rule has consequences, Aphrodite. That could be you and me if we do something stupid. Valentina, it's fine. We aren't even dating. Aphrodite, what are we doing? So you want this to keep happening? You, me, sneaking around, breaking the rules? Well, you know I like a good rule breaking now and then. I can't believe you're joking about this, Aphrodite. You saw the consequences. You know what could happen if you don't take this seriously. In the ring, you said you wanted to be with me. Aphrodite hangs her head with a sigh. I know I did, and those weren't empty words, but look, this isn't the best place to talk about. You both spin around as the door opens. Jeremy pokes his head in and jumps when he sees you. Suspicious. Jeremy is suspicious. What are you two doing here? You know we just had a meeting with Veronica. What are you doing here? Jeremy harumphs and strides into the room. He picks up a file on Veronica's desk. I'm fetching Veronica's paperwork for her next meeting, thank you very much. What was your meeting about, by the way? God, he's such a snake. It's confidential. You should ask Veronica, not yes. Sorry, Jeremy, but Veronica's orders. Some assistant I'm being treated like. Jeremy stomps out, and you and Aphrodite share a look. Is it just me, or is one of the people Veronica is worried about snooping into her business her own assistant? No, you're right. We'll have to keep an eye on him. And about the other thing, the us thing, we'll talk later, promise. She leaves Veronica's office first, and after a heavy sigh, you do the same. Later on, in your office, you and Maggie pore over file after file. Veronica has made notes on each one, showing what she liked and hated about each, sometimes both endorsing and disqualifying them. Seriously, whose must-have list for a partner is longer than legislation? Okay, how about this one? Successful startup founder, great sense of humor, plays tennis on the side. Is okay, but Veronica specifically banned anybody shorter than her. Alright, what about this guy? He's cute, nice salt and pepper going, and nope, he's an introvert, won't be able to keep up with her. Ugh, this would be so much easier if her requirements weren't so contradictory. She has so many must-haves and deal-breakers that all of this tells us nothing. Maggie checks her phone. It's almost noon, which means Jeremy's out on his lunch run and Veronica's about to wrap up a meeting. You can head her off and ask her a few questions. Perfect! Parfait! You grab your notebook and hurry to find Veronica. A group of finely dressed businessmen and women walk out of a conference room. After making sure the coast is clear, you slip inside. Bum, bum, bum. Valentina, how are things going? They're going, but I was hoping to ask you a few questions to get a better idea of your perfect match. Very well. What would you like to know? Tell me, Veronica, how should your relationship make you feel? What do you need from a partner? What are your absolute turn-offs? What everyone needs from a partner: loyalty, security, honesty. I personally need someone who can keep up with an ambitious woman, someone who isn't intimidated or insecure with someone successful. Her phone rings and she takes it out of her pocket. If you'll excuse me, Valentina, I have a phone interview with a potential client. She strides away, phone already at her ear. You stare down at your still largely empty sheet of paper. That's barely got me anything. Woe is you, right, Valentina? A couple of hours later, after Veronica's next meeting, she barges into the hallway in a rush. Seriously, Veronica should be given them all to go off. I feel bad for Valentina. Thank you all. Please address any more questions to my assistant Jeremy or shoot me an email later. Oh, Valentina, you startled me there. You power walk to keep up with Veronica's brisk pace. Are you busy? My next meeting starts in 2 minutes. Did you need something, dear? About your match, do you have an age range you're looking for? What's a man's best qualities? Could you sum up your ideal man in a few words? Not an exact number, but age appropriate, of course. Here we are. Sorry, Valentina, but I have to cut this conversation short. And with that, she darts into her next meeting and shuts the door. You sigh as you hear her greeting her clients. This is so not working. You slump back down at your desk and let out a groan. Veronica has no time. Not only does it make her impossible to talk to, but also how is she still functioning? Maybe that's how you get her alone. Convince her to take a breather and get out of the office for a bit. Like a spa day. You could use a break too, Valentina. You and Veronica are both overachievers and under self-carers. I'm not arguing, but do you really think I could convince her to step out for a few hours? I think she'll appreciate having someone looking out for her, especially since she's going through a divorce. And once you get closer to her, she'll open up more about what she's looking for in a partner. You're right. Okay, let's see if I can make this happen. A little while later, you head to Veronica's office. You poke your head inside and find her rubbing her eyes tiredly. Oh, Valentina, I'm so sorry for running away from you all day. Things to do, you know how it is. Veronica, how do the words jasmine body wrap, Italian hot rock massage sound to you? Goodness, they sound fantastic, and while I appreciate what you're suggesting, unfortunately, I'm backed up all day with meetings. I'm chained to my desk until dinner. I'm gonna save it for Aphrodite. Oop. Good luck with everything. Thank you, dear. You too. You return to your office where Maggie gives you a questioning look. I can't interrupt your work schedule. We just have to make do with what we have. I'm sure we'll find another way to narrow this list down. Let's head to the stockyard for a change of scenery. Sounds like a plan. You and Maggie slide into the stools at the bar and take your folders back out. Your dad wanders over, putting a plate of fries in front of you. You two look real glum. Is this client really hard to match? Well, kind of. Just look at all the things on their must-have list. As he reads the list, your father belts out a little laugh, shaking his head. Not to butt in, but I bet this woman's list is so detailed right now because she's newly single. What do you mean? After your mama died, Junebug, I wasn't happy with anybody I tried dating. I told myself that I was only going to let myself fall in love again if they were worth it. Suddenly started caring about a lot of things that didn't really matter. Oh my god, that's it. Veronica's batting a must-have list with things she doesn't actually care about. So if we just make a match based on the things that really matter, then she'll have a great connection no matter what. You're welcome. Tips are appreciated. Your dad winks as he pulls away. Aw, Zeus the puppy's back. Zeus trots happily out of the kitchen, scampering up to your stool and putting his paws on the rungs. What's that? You wanna help me matchmake too? You scoop Zeus up and plop him in your lap, holding up a match's portfolio to him. What do you think, Papa? Is this one a good match for Veronica? Zeus sniffs the paper, eyes flapping forward curiously. Achoo! I realise I just said eyes instead of ears, so I'll apologise for that now. Before he sneezes all over it. You know, you're right. His job isn't interesting enough. Good work. Okay, so obviously things like hand size are arbitrary and we can cut those out. But that still leaves a lot of traits on this list. Let's take a look. I'm sure we can narrow it down. You're about to build Veronica's date for tonight. Choose wisely because you can only pick 3 traits. Veronica runs a matchmaking company. Her whole life is romance. It's time for someone to make her feel as special as all her clients feel. Just because Veronica is retiring doesn't mean she's going to dream less big. She needs someone who can dream big with her. This woman has been neglected by her ex for how knows long. She needs to remember how good it feels to be cared for. All right, now let's sort these matches by just focusing on those 3 traits. You get to work, excitedly combing through the clients. It doesn't take long until you find someone who checks all the boxes. Oh, Damien, oh my God. Isn't that the principal from... It is. It's Principal Strickler from Rising Tide. Y'all need to stop reusing your characters. All right, Damien, I hope you're ready to give us a win. All we need now is the perfect date to seal the deal. I remember seeing a brochure for the Met on Veronica's desk. Why don't we see what opera is playing? It looks like they're performing a special revival of Rigoletto. I can get some private box tickets for Veronica and Damien. Throw in 1 more ticket for me. I want to make sure everything stays smooth as silk on this date. Oh, and if you're going to the opera, that means you need a pretty dress. I know, just the place. And that's a great interlude for our second diamond choice of the chapter. Maggie leads you into a fancy dress boutique and skims through the racks until she gasps with joy. It's perfect. It's spectacular. It's one of a kind. Oh my God, I've never seen a dress this pretty before. Ooh, she said I am a bougie bitch. Ooh, this is a nice dress. Ooh. Queen shit. Hot girl summer shit. No. Okay, we'll change it out of that because that is ugly and I don't think anyone who has the outfits that she does would wear that. We're putting her back in her French outfit. Yeah, you say it's naughty, but we all know it's French. And we're going to move on. And then we're going to spend our gems on scenes. With Chile, though, that was a hard thing. It's all right. I think I'm good with the dress in my closet. Fair enough. Yep, it dawned on me that even though I know child is child, I keep saying it as Chile because it's just the way I see it. It's funny. It's funny how our brains do that. All right, I'll take care of contacting Damien. Can you take care of getting opera tickets? Can do. Victory's right around the corner. Something tells me that victory is indeed not right around the corner. 2 days later, you smooth your dress down in the lobby of the Metropolitan Opera, where Veronica will arrive for her date with Damien. There they are. Damien holds open the door for Veronica to enter first. After you? Why, thank you. Okay, that's not bad. I can work with this. As they wait in front of the stage doors, Damien wraps an arm around Veronica's shoulders. Are you all right? I know you were feeling anxious about being seen on a date under such complicated circumstances. Thank you for asking. I was worried there might be press, but we're in the clear. I feel fine now. An awkward silence settles between them. They take turns glancing uncertainly at each other when the other isn't looking. So, do you attend the opera often? Sure, when a good show's in season. They need help opening up. There must be something I can do to get them to relax. I'm going to send some drinks, give them a fun icebreaker. You flag down a waiter, handing her a generous tip and whispering to her. She nods and disappears, reappearing later with what you asked for. What's this? Slips of paper? She and Damien exchange a look before taking 2 pieces of paper from the tray. It says here, you hitchhiked across all of Europe in just a month? How did you manage that? Well, I was a much younger man, still too dumb to learn from my mistakes. As he tells the story, the tension from before seems to dispel itself. Phew. They seem to be really jiving now. The doors open to the stage and you give Veronica and Damien one last look before taking your seat. It's so much fun to imitate the opera singers. If you're ever feeling sad, I would recommend that you try imitating an opera singer. It will bring immense joy to your day. As you settle in your private box, you can't help glancing at the next box over to check how Veronica and Damien are doing. Damien plucks the rose from his lapel and tucks it into Veronica's hair. She seems pleased. Damien takes her hand and kisses it, and when they turn back to the stage, they're nestled closer together. Yes. Relax. You can't stare them into doing anything. Ooh, Aphrodite's here, but we knew this was coming because this is choices, and they will give us our love interest at any opportunity. Wow. Your mouth falls open as Aphrodite walks into your box with a sly grin. Except when they don't make Chloe St. James and Ally. Please make Chloe St. James and Ally in Queen Bean 2. Aphrodite, how did you know I was here? Aphrodite takes the seat next to yours in the box, flashing her ticket at you. Your brows furrow in confusion before you read the name on the ticket. Jeremy? How did he know I'd be here? I saw him tailing Maggie to the box office, waiting around until he wasn't paying attention, then nicked his ticket. That slimy creep, if he figured out Veronica was here on a date. You shake your head, not wanting to imagine all the things that could have gone wrong. Anyway, crisis averted, thanks to you. And I got a free opera ticket out of it. Can't say I have anything to complain about. Yeah, I'll turn a blind eye to your theft this time. Anyway, how are you doing with a client like Veronica? I've already got her signed up for 3 dates, so I can't say I'm too worried about Damien over there. Aren't you worried Veronica's not ready to find love? You'll burn her out with too many dates? She's getting divorced. What if you give her miss after miss and she gets fed up with you? And swears off love for the rest of her life. Ha! It's cute that you think I'll have 3 misses in a row. It's that impossible, huh? With my track record, you bet it is. I just don't want her to get hurt. Aphrodite lets out a and reaches to put a hand on your knee. If you're ever feeling stressed out a good... Be careful with that heart of yours, Valentina. It's gonna get in the way if you're not careful. You sound like you're speaking from experience. Aphrodite lets out a laugh that sounds a little bit forced, then changes the subject. So, you been to the opera before? You look out over the theatre, feeling a sense of peace settle into you. I love stages. When I was young, my mom would get off work early and get last-minute rush tickets to the cheapest shows she could find. It didn't matter if it was a big Broadway musical or a little up-and-coming play. I loved each one, and I loved seeing them all with her. Adorable. Why'd you stop going with your folks? My mom got cancer. Passed away when I was 10. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That must have been rough. It was. It still is, depending on the day. But I try not to dwell on it. I know it won't bring her back. Geez, my parents' messy divorce looks like a romantic comedy next to that. Your parents divorced? Why did they break up? Sounds like it was hard on you. An only child dealing with divorcing parents in a small New York apartment. It wasn't all giggles, that's for sure. I can't even imagine. Yeah, I don't like to think about it either. I'm sorry, Aphrodite. It's fine, For a moment, Aphrodite meets your eyes, the most open and vulnerable you've seen her. And the next moment, she shakes her head, returning to the aloof grin. Not the end of the world, you know. Besides, you came here to focus on Veronica, not get the rundown on Aphrodite's sad childhood. Maybe I came here to watch an opera and you're distracting me. Curtain's still closed, and we both know I'm the most interesting thing around until the show starts. Aphrodite, you don't strike me as an opera person. Admit you're here to see me. Did you miss the part where I explained how I saved you from Jeremy snooping doom? Oh, I got that spot, but you could have easily shredded the tickets. Burned it to ash. You didn't have to use it. Man, you're sharp as a tack, aren't you? You already know I'm good at reading people. Don't act so surprised. I'll admit it. I wanted to spend time with you. I'm not ashamed to say so. And for free! Oh, come on, like it costs you anything to be in my company otherwise. You elbow her and the two of you laugh. As Aphrodite's laughter slowly fades away, she looks down at the stage with a thoughtful expression. You know, there's a reason I don't go on a lot of dates. Why I don't follow my matchmaking philosophy in my own love life. You're surprised to hear her speaking so candidly, and you don't dare interrupt. She continues in a quiet voice. I guess my parents' divorce really stuck with me. I remember how painful it was for my mom to go through with that. It made me cautious. I don't want to open myself up to the possibility of that type of pain. Does that make sense? You've seen firsthand how love can end up bitter and ugly. Love should be beautiful. The magic spark that endures and endures. I want to make sure that before I commit to someone, they're worth it. She holds your gaze for a charged moment. The lights go down in the theatre, and orchestral music starts up as the curtains open. I'll take her and kiss her. You lean over and brush your lips against Aphrodite's. She cups your cheek, and when you pull back, she's smiling softly. What was that for? I don't know. Does everything have to have a deep meaning? Aphrodite chuckles and looks towards the stage, but a few minutes later, you jump as you feel her breath against your ear. You're not really into this opera, are you? Depends on where you're asking. Aphrodite pushes up her sleeve to check her watch, then grins. There is something I want to show you. Something I think you'll like, but we don't have much time. You're asking me to sneak out of the opera? Would you expect anything less of me at this point? I know how to make your night, I promise. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. This is what we've been saving our gems for. But this better be worth it. Of course it will be. You're with me. Aphrodite leads you across the lobby with a purposeful stride, but not towards the exit. Wait, we're not leaving the opera house? What's the plan? First, we have to get through there. She points at a staircase that's been partitioned off. An usher stands guard in front of it. Right, sneaking somewhere we shouldn't. I should have known this was on the itinerary. Aphrodite shoots you a wink, tangling her fingers with yours. Do you trust me? Against my better judgment. That's what I like to hear. She releases your fingers as you approach the stairs and stops in front of the usher with a confident grin. Hello, my good sir. My associate and I need to go upstairs. You were sent an email with the details. I'm sorry, but this area is off limits and I don't remember any emails. It must not have been parsed down to all the staff. Valentina, why don't you explain while we're here? Aphrodite turns to you, laughter in her eyes, and you paste on a grin. We are celebrity handlers running an errand, writing a review of the theatre, patrons who lost our forms. We are Chris Wanter's aides. He's looking for filming locations to shoot some ads for his up-and-coming line of hats for summertime. Nice hats. Oh my god, you work with Chris Winters. What's he like? Oh, he's great. Everything you imagined. Humble, kind. But he doesn't like to be kept waiting. And we have a whole bunch of places to scout out tonight. Right, go ahead. And tell him Julian's his biggest fan. The usher steps aside and you and Aphrodite start up the stairs. We could have talked about that more ahead of time, you know? We didn't need to. You gave us a great cover. I backed you up. That's teamwork right there. You can't get through life like it's an improv class. I don't know. It's gone pretty well for me so far. Aphrodite tugs on your hand, taking the stairs 2 at a time. You feel your heart thunder in your chest as you struggle to keep up. What's the rush for? But instead of answering, Aphrodite pulls you through a door and you gasp at the sight before you. Oh, that is gorgeous. Are you saying this? I am in awe. The sun sets over the city, covering everything in a soft golden glow. It's beautiful. Sure is. You glance over, and your breath catches when you find Aphrodite's eyes on you. I should joke with her, kiss her. Before you know what you're doing, you grab her face and seal your lips to hers. You feel her surprise before she kisses you back eagerly, her arms going around your waist to hold you close. C'est romantique. You're being a lot nicer to me than usual. I could say the same for you. You rest your head on her shoulder and look back out over the rooftops. You know I've seen a sunset before, right? Sure, but you haven't seen one through my eyes. Ooh, gets all enigmatic on me, Aphrodite. Yeah, there's a point to all this, I promise. She lets out a breath and her voice is softer as she continues. After my parents got divorced, my mom went through a tough time. I wanted to be able to do something for her, and little me thought, hey, I'll cook for her. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I was cute when I tried, and I made canned Vienna sausages and boxed mac and cheese work. I'm sure your mom loved that. I got better over time, but that's not the important part. Mom loves the sunset, so every Friday night I cooked dinner and then we ate out on our tiny terrace and watched the sun go down. For a long time, that was the only time I saw her relax and smile, like a real smile. You hug Aphrodite a little tighter, feeling the warmth of her body. She's lucky to have you, and I'm lucky to have her. She gave me some good advice, you know. She said to me, Aphrodite, sunset's a special time, so you have to share it with the people special to you. I'd like to meet her. Thank you for sharing this with me. How many people have you shared it with? I think she'd like to meet you too. Oh, you're in a good enough mood to admit I'm likable now? Well, you're a headache, a smart mouth, and possibly stubborn. She brings her lips inches from yours. But yeah, you're likable too. Aphrodite cups your cheek, fondness and admiration barely restrained in her eyes. You press forward and kiss her lips, and she kisses back eagerly, hungrily. I want you, Valentina. Now, what if the usher comes up? For breaking rules, that means worrying about the consequences when they happen. Aphrodite presses you against the wall, your arms clasp around the back of her neck, and you draw her closer. In that case, I do remember you saying this would be worth my while. Aphrodite ducks to kiss your neck, her fingers gripping your hips tightly. Elle take control, let Aphrodite have control. You tip your head back, biting your lip as her warm mouth and tongue press against your neck. She encourages the neckline of your dress down, kissing a trail to your breast. Aphrodite. As lovely as this dress is, I think I'd prefer you without it. She pulls your skirt up, then hikes your leg up. You suppress a whimper of pleasure when you feel her press against you. Yes, Aphrodite, yes. There we go. She rocks against you, sucking in a sharp breath when you suddenly hear a voice call from the stairs. Are you two still up there? It's been a while. Crap. Aphrodite takes a steadying breath and calls back. We're just finishing up, thank you. As the usher's footsteps recede, the two of you catch your breath. You pout at Aphrodite. Finishing up? Boo! Aphrodite strokes your cheek, drawing you in for another deep kiss. She murmurs against your lips. You know what they say, delayed gratification is the best gratification. Whoever they are, they're crazy. On call. Okay, that's a funny pun. It is, I'll give them that. As the two of you sit back down in your seats in the theatre, Aphrodite takes your hand in hers. We can pick up where we left off. Veronica's in the next box. Pay attention to the show. Grinning, Aphrodite settles back, and you get engrossed in the opera as actors belt across the theatre with impressive range. As the show ends, you see Damien and Veronica stand and head back toward the lobby. You get up to follow them. You watch from the stairs as Damien and Veronica exchange some banter at the front of the lobby. I must say, Veronica, I really admire an enterprising woman like yourself. I imagine you'll have an exciting retirement ahead. That's the plan. Margaritas are grand, but so is getting your hands dirty. I get it. I may be retired, but I've actually been investing in a number of food trucks across the city. Gives people a start on their dreams while keeping up with business trends. That sounds exciting. I'd love to hear more. Damien stopped short of the doors, offering Veronica his arm. Shall I call a cab for us? I know an excellent place where we can grab a bite to eat. Please, I'm famished. As they leave arm in arm, you turn towards Aphrodite. Round one goes to me. Yes, I'll polish my CEO nameplates, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. One successful date doesn't mean marriage. I think Veronica will need no time. Good thing she'll be seeing my first match in a few days then. Come on, Aphrodite. Ooh, I love when you look at me with that fire in your eyes. Aphrodite takes your hand and you head out to the curb together, where she calls the two of you a taxi. The next morning, Veronica calls you into her office bright and early. I take it your date with Damian went well last night? Oh, he was lovely, darling. Romantic, suave, caring, really ticked all the boxes. It was the best date I've been on in ages. So, when's the next one? Or, I haven't set one up yet. Well, that won't do. Aphrodite's got me booked nearly all next week. Don't tell me you're losing steam already. The mere audacity that she would lose out of steam, and when that date was a success. Feeling a little bit offended if I do say so myself. Your first date for Veronica was a success, but she isn't satisfied yet. Will you be able to keep your head in the game, or will Aphrodite pull ahead? Never fear, because you will see this successful date setter-upper. I forgot the word for a matchmaker for a second there. You will see her success very shortly. Have a good week. Stay frosty, puppies.